Hello, welcome back to StarCast Circle Marks. This is the after game review for game number 10, along with Christian. My name is Ryan, and the Stars win by a final score tonight of 5-2. Thank you to DraftKings Sportsbook for being our sponsor of this episode, this podcast, and all of THPN. What a game, Christian. I mean, other than the third period was boring, but who cares? Because the second period was fantastic. So let me know your thoughts right off the bat.
We just reverse Rangers them. I mean, we just did the exact same thing. I mean, we're just like, hey, 3 goals at once sounds like a good idea. We should try it. And then we did it. And then we won. Yeah. Pretty good game. I feel like the second period, just as my initial thoughts, the second period was really us cashing in on what we did the first period. Because the first period was the most dominant period of hockey we played all season long. And it makes sense when you're against a team on a night back-to-back. They did their job, took care of business, wiped this team off the board like we should have.
And you can't ignore the most obvious player in this game, and that was Miro Heiskanen. I mean, there's no doubt that this team is a way better team with him on the ice. I mean, when you look at how he played, he didn't even have the most time on ice tonight, and he still ends the game with what he has. And it's not a coincidence that the Stars' power play was suckish for the past 4 games previous, and then they score 3 power play goals today. There's no coincidence. Absolutely zero coincidence. So let's go ahead and get into the after game review. That's the period breakdown. So, couple of penalties right off the bat in the first 5 minutes of the game. 2 for the Kings and 1 for the Stars. It was a holding the stick penalty on Pavelski, which I thought was stupid. Then there was a Lazat penalty and a Fiala penalty. The Fiala penalty would lead to a Hintz score from the left circle. It's a power play goal, and it was a great saucer pass from Ben. And you want to eat your words about Ben's play tonight, Chris?
Yeah, Ben had a very good game tonight. He was very noticeable all over the ice. His forecheck was great. Very physical. And like we said the last time, he had a good game. If we can get 1 out of 5 games where Ben plays like this, we'll be happy. Here's our 1 in 5. He'll be gone for the next 4 games, but we'll see him later.
All right, I'm quoting quick. Words are hard for me today. I'm quoting Chris's.
Oh my gosh, that was a troll. Right here. It was a troll.
Matter. I'm still gonna say it because it makes you look stupid, so I love it.
Okay.
Chris, to all of us, all of the brothers, including our dad, we have to cheer for passes now for Jamie Benn ? Score a goal, and that was in response to me saying great saucer by Jamie there.
I still mildly stand by that. He needs to score.
Oh, shut up.
2 assists.
Come on.
He played a very good game.
On.
He was very impactful this game, despite not scoring. It's been 10 games. He needs to score. I mean, at this pace, he's going to have less than 8 goals in the season. I mean, realistically, that's not going to be the case, but we need some goals.
Yeah. He'll get there eventually. If he plays like this every single night, eventually he will get a goal. Dallas is very physical without the puck. That was one of my first initial thoughts in the first 10 minutes.
Forecheck went crazy.
Yeah, the Wedgwood looked really good tonight. He looked very good. He not like overly fantastic like we see Otter do, but he was very solid in tonight's game. Ben had a wraparound chance. There's a breakaway chance for Delandria. The shots at the end of the period were 18-8 in favor of the Dallas Stars. How was that first period?
I mean, like I said, it was the most dominant period we've had. You got to score more than 1 goal. And obviously the dam broke in the second period, but boy, we talked about that a lot last season too. Like we had all the pressure, you end up only getting 1 goal, got to get multiples there. And it feels like that's starting to happen a lot in these first periods, but we're also not allowing any goals in the first period too. So it's still working out in our favor.
I like DeBoer's choice of words when he talked about that first period, how it was a very tilted ice, meaning it's all downhill towards their zone. I enjoyed that very much so. The second period, I honestly thought coming out of the second period, at the beginning of the period, that Los Angeles was the better team.
Agreed.
So, within the first 5 minutes, it was more even. I wouldn't say it was like all downhill for Los Angeles, but Los Angeles was definitely getting chances within that first 5 minutes. Agree, disagree?
Definitely agree. I would say it was slanted definitely for the Kings. Not quite as much as the Stars were in the first period, but they had a lot of sustained pressure.
So the game would go to 1-1. Wedgwood makes the first initial save off of Carl Grunstrom, but Fiala is there. He scores off the rebound. Someone's got to be there. I mean,
Yeah.
it maybe it was just an unfortunate rebound, an unfortunate bounce, but I mean, there was 3 Stars players there. You would
And
think
when
that
you
one of the 3 should get there.
gotta look, Miller's got to look over his shoulder. There is really what it is, but it also was a weird rebound. They don't normally go that far off of a breakaway too, so kind of unfortunate. Good save. Can't give up breakaway.
And then right after that goal by Fiala, it was another 2-on-1 about a minute later for LA. It was a good save by Wedgwood, and it was Trevor Moore with the shot. He's actually a very underrated player in my opinion. I wrote Ben's name down for the 4th time in the game, and that was only halfway through the game. Ben had another chance. It would lead to a Dallas power play, and then the dam just breaks from there. Robo would get a power play goal. It was a shot from the point. His eyes were taken away. His eyes meaning Carl Peterson. And then Sagan scores off a filthy toe drag. Oh my gosh, that is vintage Tyler Sagan. That is exactly what we need from Tyler Sagan.
That was
And
yucky.
shout out to Gary Onoff on that goal as well, because if it wasn't for his speed, Sagan would not have scored that goal. And then literally 16 seconds after that, it was like a broken play. Hintz says, "Oh, here's the puck," and deposits it into the back of the net. It was a great goal there too. So
Good
3
finish,
goals
yeah.
in 92 seconds, and the Stars are up 4-1. And I'm like, what?
I was like, I think we're winning. So, yeah, this is an offense that you didn't even have a chance of getting last year. And that's what's going to be so fun about this team, is that they're never going to be out of it, because they can always do this. Like, if this is a possibility, you're never out of the game, honestly. So it's really awesome to see the potential of this hockey team and the offense finally being unlocked in a more offensive system. It's much more fun to watch.
It is. It is. And I wrote, Jeff K is getting his work done tonight for all those goals. He was behind 3 goals at one point. That's crazy. Lundqvist had a really good D play on a 3-on-2 for LA. There was a scary incident when LA hit the post off a point shot. It went off of Vilardi and hit the post, so that was a little scary. Lundqvist would take a penalty. It would lead to a power play goal for Arthur Kaliev, who is a great young player for LA. And it was just good movement on the power play by LA. There was nothing the Stars could do there.
It was just lucky. It was great defense by Lindell. He broke up the pass cross crease, and it just goes right to Kaliev. Just unfortunate. I mean, nothing else you can do.
Glendening would go way over the net, and I mean, you can't ask for a better opportunity than Glendening got. But you know what? It's okay. It's 4-2. Miro does Miro things. He goes in alone on 1v4. He draws a call, leads to a Dallas power play. And then Pavelski just always at the right spot at the right time. He doesn't even have to try. He deposits the power play goal. It clanks off of Ben's skate when it's and then it goes to Pavelski. And the thing that I wrote, and I actually had to write like a paragraph for this, because it was great pressure by all 5 guys to keep that puck in the O zone. That whole 5-man group on that power play. So excellent work by that number 1 power play group.
And I wouldn't say it was a clink off the skate. If you look again, a little bit of a kick pass by Ben.
No. Yeah, I should say that. It was. I think it was on purpose. I definitely think it was on purpose. But it did clink off his skate. In the last minute, it looked a little scary, because looked like the LA Kings were looking for some sort of retribution, and Wedgwood was required to make a couple of good saves there at the end of the second period. Chris, probably the best period of hockey that we've seen from the Dallas Stars, at least the most exciting.
That was the most exciting period of hockey from the Dallas Stars. The first period was the best period. Second period, most exciting, definitely. And even Wedgwood really played really well throughout this game, doing what we needed to do. They talked a lot about in the broadcast, for like, we need a Cooper Rush moment from Wedgwood. Just play good enough to keep us in.
They totally stole that. Razor totally stole that from Saad Youssef. He totally did.
Yeah. But that's exactly true. I mean, you think of what the Cowboys did. Mm-hmm. The defense steps up whenever quarterback's out. They were one of the best defenses in the league during that stretch. This 5 goals, that's what the Stars need to do. Make it easy on Wedgwood. Don't make him win games for you. You need to win the game for Wedgwood. So we should see, we better see a lot of goals if we're going to continue to be good during this stretch of Otter being out, which actually we haven't talked about on the podcast yet. It's kind of crazy.
We gotta wait till tomorrow, probably.
We'll wait till tomorrow for the
Probably better to wait
implications
till
of that.
tomorrow.
I think y'all
Yeah.
know what the implications are, though.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little scary. We'll see. But hey, we can be happy at least for tonight, right?
Very happy.
All right. Okay. Third period. Going into the third period, I didn't really write a lot because
Not much happened.
yeah, not much happened. But the thing that did happen is the Stars kept up the pressure. They kept up the offensive pressure. Now it wasn't like overly done, and there was lots of chances, especially by Gary Onoff, Ben, and Johnston. So that whole third line, or I guess Gary Onoff on that second line, and then those two guys on the third line. I noticed the three of
That
those
was
guys
the
a
third
lot
line
in the
tonight.
third period.
Delantro was second right wing tonight. Gurianov
He
was
was?
third.
I thought Gary Onoff was on the second line.
Don't believe so.
Well, either way,
But
it
yeah,
doesn't matter.
they
Those
were
three
great.
guys were noticeable in the third period. There was a really good save by Peterson on Gary Onoff, and I'm just like, dude, Gary Onoff cannot catch a break to save his life to score
Yeah.
a goal. And it was a great setup. It was a great shot. He elevated the puck. Peterson was just that was just a fantastic save by him.
Yeah.
Um,
And a lot of people said it. Zach said it, and Razor said it during the game. They're like, as soon as Gurianov scores one, he's just going to score a billion. And that's really what it feels like. It feels like Robe Hintz last year where he couldn't buy a goal. And I feel like Gurianov just gets one that'll really get him going. And you know what? A lot of people are scoring a lot of goals right now. We kind of need a guy to kind of save them for later when we really need them. So that's all Gary's doing. He's being smart about it. We'll see. We'll see the goals.
He's saving his 20-goal season for later.
Yeah, he's going to score all 20 in the second half of the season.
Right, exactly. So, anyways, I mean, really, I don't have anything else other than I really wish Johnson had scored. He had a really big chance. He hit the post. It went ping, went straight over the net.
Something to mention with that, Johnson is officially a Dallas Star. So good to see.
Like
I mean,
official.
Yeah, he forced his way into the lineup. Really, I mean, there's no one who can replace him on that third line and do what he does. So great job by him.
I wrote another Ben chance, and then the pressure continued, never stopped. That's all I got. Chris, what thoughts from the third period?
Good, boring third period that we played mostly in the offensive zone. Actually, not as much possession, but a lot of forecheck, a lot of dump ins. Good third period when you're up by 3 goals.
All right, let's just get into what happened in tonight's game. What's some of the storylines that we need to be taking away from this game tonight? Because there's a lot, honestly, that you could talk about.
The first one is the Kings are on the second night of a back-to-back, and their third game in 4 days, I believe.
Yes.
So this was a gotta-win game, and they did. They took care of business. They got it done. They did it even a little bit flashy, too. So we like that. So good job taking care of business. Don't get overly excited about how many goals were scored because this was the second night of a back-to-back, but we're still happy.
I think the biggest thing for me is I kind of already talked about it, but it's Miro Heiskanen. I mean, he shows how desperately the Stars need him on this team. Like, I mean, he's not even worth $8 million in my opinion. He should get like 10 to 11. I mean, the Stars got him at a steal of a price, in my opinion. And I mean, he does everything. He absolutely does everything. He had one bad play that I was like, it was a bad turnover. You know what he immediately did? He fixed it.
Yeah.
He turned the puck over. Oh, I got it back, and he kept going. So I can't grovel enough at his feet at how good of a hockey player Miro Heiskanen is.
Something interesting tonight to think of when Miro Heiskanen plays. So he comes off an injury, so his time is a little bit limited. He had the second least ice time of all defensemen. Yet he was super noticeable, especially offensively. Is that something that you try and take moving forward and say, okay, we're going to play him less to try and make him more impactful on the offensive side? Because he has a primary assist on the power play goal and then a secondary assist, which was a very good assist on the Sagan goal, and drew 2 penalties, I think. So that is something to think about because he has 19-15 tonight for time on ice. He has been playing pretty much 25 consistently. And he looked a lot more scary tonight with the puck, in my opinion.
It's a thought, but the thing is, what's different about him compared to Cale Makar, for example, is he could be Cale Makar, in my opinion. He's got every aspect of his game that he could be that offensive weapon, but he's just so freaking good defensively. The Stars rely on it so much.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was obvious to see with the breakouts that happened. The breakouts that he did himself, he just carried the puck into the offensive zone, and you mentioned it. He
Yeah.
drew a couple of calls tonight. So I just think he's so incredibly important defensively, and that's why I would not want him to lower his ice time.
I think the big part of that is the shorthanded time. It's so hard to not play him shorthanded because he's so good exiting the zone and just so consistent defensively. And we only take, what was it? Looks like 2 full penalties tonight. So that really, he only had 45 seconds of shorthanded time. So that's probably where a lot of those minutes are coming off of. So let's stay out of the box so we can do more offense instead of just playing him less.
And that's a perfect segue into the other thing I wanted to talk about is that, yeah, the Stars still took some. I don't know. I'm still confused about some of the penalties that have been called this season against the Stars. It seems like they're kind of wishy-washy and kind of stupid, but nonetheless, the Stars took less penalties than the LA Kings did tonight. They got their power play going. Their penalty kill was okay. It leaked, but it wasn't terrible. That especially that last penalty kill, and I thought that was going to be a really important moment when Delandria took a penalty in the third period. I thought that could have been a momentum shift, but thankfully nothing came of it. They weren't even able to set up in the offensive zone. The LA Kings weren't. So Stars to care of business there, but I don't know. I would just like to see this continue. Less penalties.
Yeah. Less
Stay
penalties
out
than
of the
the other
box.
team is a win every time. I mean, I don't even care what number it is at this point. Just take less than the other team. And then the power play tonight, obviously, huge bounce back. What did they say? Over 12 or over 14 in the past?
I think it was over 15, I think, almost.
Yeah. Something crazy like
something
that.
like that, yeah.
Obviously, Miro comes back and then all the problems are solved. So that's the big thing. I hope we get someone else who can play on the second power play unit, or we just keep Heiskanen out there for the entire 2 minutes, which is, I think, a cool idea, but whatever.
Well,
Power play's
if
back
he
is the point.
yeah. If Miro Heiskanen is able to continue playing, which although I don't want to see him at this limited minutes, if this makes any sense.
Yeah.
So here's a thought. Here's a random thought. Would winning this game be worth it if we were already going to win without Miro Heiskanen in the lineup? Because if he's really that hurt that he has to play limited minutes, I would rather him, get fully healthy and then come back and be able to play that full 24, 25 minutes. Does that make sense?
He played limited minutes, but he still played 20 minutes. That's not, I wouldn't call that super limited. And
but that's limited for him, though.
He was super aggressive all night, too. So I think it's fine. You need 2 points. I mean, who's to say that if Heiskanen's not in the game tonight that we lose? I mean, that could totally happen, especially with the way. I mean, we had 3 power play goals. Heiskanen was on the ice for all 3 of them. Pretty important guy. So
yeah,
I think you're definitely playing him. 2 points is huge in the NHL.
All right, let's get into our biggest winner and biggest loser here for tonight, Chris. There's a couple you could pick on both sides, but who do you got for your biggest loser tonight?
Biggest loser first. Who was the guy that got his teeth knocked out? I don't even know his name.
Oh yeah, that was unfortunate.
Yeah, the dude goes to hit Jamie Benn with his face, apparently, and. So Razor didn't know what was going on with the guy's tooth. I saw exactly what happened. One of his bottom teeth.
There?
No, it was back in his mouth. But I'll tell you why. One of his bottom teeth got knocked out, and it was hanging on a wire. The wire is a permanent retainer. So his tooth got chipped out. His retainer was holding the tooth in just his mouth. So not only did it knock a tooth out, it knocked his retainer out. So now this boy's got to go back to the orthodontist. Unfortunate.
Jeez, that just that makes me cringe.
And all that is from trying to make a hit.
I know, right? Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, for those that are listening on the audio side, Chris's face said it all. That was funny. Who do you got for your biggest winner?
Biggest winner, I'm going to take the obvious one, and I'm going to give it to Rope Hintz. Rope Hintz, 2 goals on the night. The initial one to get the monkey off the back for the power play, huge. You need that. The nail in the coffin goal is what I'm going to call that unassisted one. I mean, just the finish on that is crazy. I mean, he gets the puck in that spot, and you're like, okay, we have 5 goals now.
Goal.
That's cool.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
That's it. He's just him and Robertson are just the most consistent finishers on our team, in my opinion. They're just so, I don't even know what it is. They just got the stuff. They got the stuff.
They got the thing.
2 goals, only 1 assist, I think, tonight.
Only 1. Only 3 points.
Only 1. Only a 3-point night. A little bit down, but yeah, great game by Rope Hintz.
I will go ahead and not say the other obvious because we've already talked about him a ton. Heiskanen is the obvious biggest winner in tonight's game for me, but I'll give it to Wedgwood. He was not overly taxed, but he got his first win of the night, and he was very, very, very solid. If the team can play like this in front of him, then he will be more than capable of Cooper rushing it until Jake Ottinger gets back. So,
and if he plays like that, we'll win a lot of games too. It doesn't matter how clean it was. He's just got to keep us in it, and he totally did that tonight, and that's all we need.
Yep. And he made a couple of very good saves. I mean, they weren't like highlight reel or anything, anything like that. But it was still very nice to see him get the win because he fully deserved it. And it just seems like when he plays, the Stars don't play as well in front of him like they do in front of Ottinger, if that makes any sense. They play way better in front of Ottinger. And that was the case when Ottinger was the backup and it was Bishop who was the starter. It looked like the Stars played way better in front of Bishop. And when Otter got thrown in there, it didn't seem like they played as well. So, okay, Chris, I think that's going to do it here for us tonight. Anything else you want to mention?
The next game, I don't have it pulled up when it is.
I believe the next game is Thursday against the Phoenix Coyotes. I said it again. Arizona Coyotes at Mullet Arena.
And if y'all haven't seen those awesome dressing rooms the Stars are going to be in, it's going to be fire. That is going to be a late game. Looks like it's a 9 p.m. start.
Yep.
Yay.
9 p.m. start. So,
thanks, Arizona.
Yeah, I guess that makes it like, it's almost around midnight for us on Thursday. Dang.
Later.
Really?
No, not later.
Maybe.
Maybe it goes to triple overtime.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah. Okay. I think that's going to do it here for us tonight. I recently just did an interview with Sean Shapiro, formerly of The Athletic, and he was absolutely fantastic. He originally said that, keep the interview to like 30 minutes if you could. And then he kept pushing it, and we ended up talking for almost 50 minutes. So thank you to Sean for doing that. I really appreciate his time. Here in a little bit, we're actually going to be having Bruce Levine on the show here very soon. Look forward to having him on the show. I believe that's going to be next Wednesday, so not tomorrow, but a week from Wednesday. And then you can also go check out that Sean Shapiro interview. It's available now, anywhere you get your podcasts.
And check us out tomorrow.
Yep, we'll be back here tomorrow with you guys.
We'll talk about all the stuff, especially Ottinger. We'll probably mostly talk about Ottinger.
Because that's a really big, important thing you need to talk about. It's kind of big. Okay, and then a little bit of Gary Onhoff, too, because he looks primed to start scoring more. So we'll see. Okay, thanks again to DraftKings for being our sponsor for this episode, this podcast, all at THPN, along with Chris. My name's Ryan. We will catch you guys on the flip side, and we hope you have a good, fantastic evening, morning, afternoon, whenever you're listening. See you guys later. forgot, Chris. You got to give your GG boys real quick
Oh.
before you go.
Oops. Sorry, boys. GG, boys.